Hey Clashers, Billius here. Play like a wizard. Well, I was fortunate enough to get a 3-star in today's war using bowlers, and also in the previous war I had a 3-star using miners. So I'd like to talk a little bit about decision making in war and how you make those choices. First of all, I'm going up against number 5 in this war, fairly highly developed base. One thing I look at is how spherical a base is, how circular it is, and what is the radius. And if it's a very wide radius, it's going to be more difficult for miners. I mean, even if you use the go-bowl-me approach, you're going to have some challenges narrowing the base enough. Although go-bowl-me might work here for 3 stars, not sure. Another factor is you look at the infernals. You're so far apart, and that makes it a little difficult for miners. Even though there aren't walls in a true isolated infernal, there's enough buildings around those infernals that miners can take a lot of damage going around them. And that's a couple of the factors. So I chose bowlers here. I'm going to come in from the north using a double jump. And what I like about that approach is I'm simultaneously going after an infernal, a Townhall, as well as an eagle, and that gives me a good chance of getting at least 2 stars, possibly 3, and if I can time my spells effectively along with the abilities of my heroes, I'll have a much better chance. A lot of this boils down to timing and planning when you're going to hit the button on your abilities and your spells. Now with a golem in the CC, which we found out about from the previous raid, which had some problems with it, it made it extra important that I choose a non-miner attack for this raid. Now you can see the sequencing of the rages. I bring 3 rages, I don't bring a freeze. To me, if I can get my bowlers in the core and keep them enraged in the center area, they'll accomplish a lot more than if I just let them jump into a further compartment, even though many of them have been killed off. Now here we have some examples of the healers going down due to the changes in air mines and air bombs. Now keeping the queen alive is important. She's in a little difficulty here. She'll take out that last infernal. That worked out really well. The last infernal is the most important thing in these attacks. And now a couple minis. If you can find a place where minis can take out more than a couple buildings before they get taken out, that's great. Drop 1 mini at a time. That way if there are air bombs in the area, they'll only take out 1. So little tips, but they all add up. Well, with the queen down, I'm hoping that these bowlers can make their way around the base before I run out of time. There's an air bomb taking out my last mini. So 1 defense left. And you need a bit of luck on these attacks. And also you need to be lucky in terms of the time. Sometimes you end up at 99%, which is really frustrating. And there we go. So that's number 5. I'm going to go to the previous war now and show you the raid I did with miners. This is on base number 15. Now in this base, anyone who follows my channel may recognize that I've attacked this base before. So whoever's using it probably doesn't watch my channel, and I'd recommend maybe they start. I'm going to do a clone attack on the way I attacked this previously. I'm bringing in my king and my queen, along with a couple Valks and a wizard, and I'm going to work to clear down that left side. But I'm also luring out the golem, which from a previous attack I know can cause a lot of problems on this base. So I'll be able to take out that CC. In the meantime, I've got my warden out and I'm taking my main miner force down what amounts to a narrowed base. I talked about radius before. By taking out those left buildings, I've got a narrowed channel for the miners, and many of them will likely head to the core, and here they go. Notice I'm placing heels where there's A, mass of miners, and B, a good opportunity to protect them from giant bombs. Rage at the Town Hall works out, and now miners are spreading out to clean up the base. So on this attack, it wasn't difficult to decide what to do. I know how to do it, and that's the advantage of practicing raids, working out in Titan 3 or Titan 2, seeing this type of base. And at Town Hall 11, it's surprising how many players will use a base that's been used up in Multi and Titan or Legend. Another factor here is I'm aware that these type of bases tend to have traps or difficulties at the bottom if you try to use something like a Queen Walk to work towards taking out the Eagle early. So that's why I started from the north. And there you go, a second attack. So decisions were made. Notice that this base had max walls, which is another factor. Well, I hope you enjoyed those two attacks. I mean, I was lucky the last couple wars. I've had enough 2 stars and 1 stars to know that it takes a bit of luck. And I just want to remind everyone that these are not OP troops. It takes some skill. You don't see a lot of 3-star attacks against these types of bases in war normally, so keep that in mind. Have a good day. Talk to you later. You can support my channel by subscribing and clicking like if you enjoyed the video. I've recommended a few videos here, but remember my video library has over 100 videos on all sorts of topics and strategies, so be sure to check it out. Play like a wizard.